Hello and good evening and welcome to today's program. My name is Tunde Disu and this is Become a Better Man. Thank you for being part of today's program. I'm sure it's going to be a great and a wonderful one. On today's program, we're looking at factors for personal development and success. Factors for personal development and success. Generally, in life, it is assumed that growth and development are the same. In fact, when you look at the definition of growth and development, they are very synonymous. They are almost the same. But when you dig deep and you look deeper and you open it up, you realize there's a major difference between the two. And so that's what one of the things we'll be looking at tonight. The difference between growth and development, and also how they both contribute to personal development and personal success. One of the growth as a concept on its own, it's something that is natural. It's something that happens by itself. Growth almost requires no effort, no input from you. In fact, I say jokingly to people when they say, "Oh, your children have grown," I say, "Yes. If you keep feeding them, they'll keep growing," and that's all. That's all that is required to grow. Keep feeding it, keep watering it, and it'll keep growing. Growth is a natural phenomenon that will happen. Growth is something that requires little effort, really, from either from you as a person, from a concept, from an entity, from an organization. If you keep buying and selling, and gradually it will grow. Development, however, it's something that requires your direct, deliberate input into what you're doing, into yourself, into your community, into your business, into any sphere of life that you want to develop. You have to deliberate and purposefully do something about it. Another difference between growth and development is that growth is like a linear increase. It's something that is, you can see the increase either in the size or in the number or in the physical. You can see growth. For instance, if you plant a seed, after a while you will see that seed come through from the soil, and then it will grow into a shrub, and then into a plant, and then it will bring forth fruit. That is growth. Now, you will agree with me that if you plant that seed and you leave it there, the soil of its own accord knows what to do to grow that seed, to germinate it, to bring it forth to the point where it becomes a full-blown plant and bring forth fruit. So that is growth. Growth is linear. Growth is increase in size, increase in number, for instance, increase in physical appearance. Development, on the other hand, is more subtle. It's not so much in your face. Development is an improvement of circumstance. It's an improvement that it is. Growth is hidden in development, but development it's not linear. It spreads. It improves from the inside out. It increases in value. It increases in quality, not just in quantity. So one of the differences between growth and development is why growth is a quantifiable, something that is quantitative. Development is qualitative. Growth typically refers to an increase in size or in number, whereas development, like we said, is more of improvement in circumstance and in quality. For example, an organization can grow. Say you have a business. You can grow that business by increasing your the number of outlets at which you're selling your wares. You can increase it by buying or taking over other companies. But all you are doing is growing. But that same company can develop by starting with an idea and then developing and adding value to that one idea to the point where the idea is now not just that one unit of idea, but it has now developed into a concept. The concept has now developed into a model, and the model is now being produced and increased, and there's research and development involved in that initial tiny little idea. So when it comes to growth and development, even though they look similar, even though they sound similar, even though in some instances we interchange the usage of both words, growth and development, but when you look deep on the inside, you will realize that there's a major difference between growth and development. As human beings, we also grow. We grow physically. You have a baby, for instance, your wife goes to the hospital, delivers a baby. That baby is brought home as a little baby, and everybody's like, oh, little baby, beautiful girl, fine boy, and all of that. And gradually, that baby starts to grow into a toddler. Now you're running after that toddler around the house. Oh, don't do that. Don't go there. Don't touch that. Don't. And gradually, that toddler becomes now a children. Maybe start going to a nursery school, a primary school, and then one day that toddler becomes a teenager. And then that teenager one day says, Mom, Dad, I'm off to the university. And before you know it, that teenager is an adult. And gradually one day that teenager is also raising his or her own family. So you can see the trajectory of growth from being a baby that you brought back from the maternity world one day to now where that same baby has now grown to a point where they live in house and starting their own life and family. That is growth. But when it comes to development, still using human beings as the same like we did in the example of growth, that same child, that same baby, that same person can now start to not just grow physically, but develop internally, develop intellectually, develop spiritually, develop materially, develop in other sphere, which when you look at the person, you really don't see the difference or the change that the development has brought along. But gradually a time will come when the proof of the development will be the manifestation in the delivery of a quality product or a quality service or a quality lifestyle. And that is when people recognize the fruit of development. So while growth is a subject of natural phenomenon, development, on the other hand, requires deliberate and concerted effort over a protracted period of time. While growth is easily recognizable and appreciated, for instance, like I was saying about children, one day they are taller than you. You can see that physical growth and you can appreciate that growth. Development, on the other hand, is more subtle. It's when you then give that same child, for instance, a responsibility, when you give that child or that child that has become a teenager, when you give them a responsibility and the way they deliver that responsibility with quality will make you understand or realize or even appreciate the fact that that child has just not grown, that child has also developed. The reason we're looking at this today is because as this platform is, all we're looking at, all we're striving towards, all we want to achieve in life is to become better at who we are become better at what we do, become better at our deliveries, become better in all aspects of our being. So it is vitally important, therefore, for us to not just concentrate on the physical growth, but to look at some of the factors that are necessary, that are required for us to not just to mature in who we are and come to a point where the difference is seen not just in our physical status, but also in our delivery and in the quality of life, the values that we add to life and to the people around us. Since development, therefore, is such an important aspect of achieving one's purpose in life and fulfilling your potential, I think it is important for us to look at some of the ingredients, some of the factors. What are some of the necessary additions that we need to take on board in order for us to maximize our potentials, to fulfill our dreams, and to reach our destination ultimately? So the factors that will contribute to our growth, our development, but ultimately our success is what we're looking at tonight. And the first one we want to talk about is desire. Desire. You see, development requires decision. You have to make a conscious decision that you want to develop. Unlike growth that will happen almost naturally, you have to make a conscious decision that you want to develop. And so development requires a qualitative, a strong decision on your part to come to a point where you think, I'm not comfortable with my status quo. I'm not pleased with where I am. There is more to me than this. Therefore, I need to exploit what's on the inside. I need to broaden my horizon. I need to find ways of becoming better at myself so that I can add better value both to myself and to the people in my life and around me. So desire starts, also desire it provokes decision. Desire provokes decision. And this decision is what would then bring you to where you start to question your status quo. See, the choice usually that we have in life is between whether you just want to grow or you want to develop. That is the choice that we make every day. Development involves you applying yourself to focus, setting goals for yourself, having a purpose, and the willingness and the commitment to follow through on this decision that you've made, and putting some actions behind what you have decided to do. So in order to develop, in order to not just grow, but to develop to the point where you can walk and move and pursue success and happiness, you must possess and operate within the parameters of what is called the 4Ds. And you have to do them proficiently. Now, what are these 4Ds? The first D is decision. You have to make a decision. Again, like we said, decision is a product of desire. You have to make a decision to say, I want to do this, I want to have this, I want to become this, I want to achieve this, I want to get that, I want to reach this level. It starts with a decision. The second D is discipline. It is not enough for you to have to make a decision. You then have to cultivate the discipline that is needed, that is required, that is necessary in order for you to see through or to push through the decision that you've made. Now, the discipline is more or less a personal sacrifice, because when you weigh what you have to where you want to be, whatever is in between that could either delay you or stop you or prolong what it takes or when it will take you to get to your destination, you then have to offer that as a sacrifice on the altar of the destination that you're going. And what is required there is the discipline to let go immediate gratification for the sake of achieving your goal and reaching your purpose. The next D, so that's the first one is decision, the second one is discipline, the third one is determination. The third one is determination. What is determination? Determination, simply put, is in the face, now you've made a decision, now you've committed yourself to the discipline of what will take you to achieve what you've set yourself. Because you have set a goal, because you now have a purpose, because you have something that you are pursuing, usually there will be reasons, there will be temptations, there will be challenges along the way, there will be instances where you feel, no, I don't think I really can push through on this one. I don't think this is gonna, I can't, I've given them all I have. I can't go beyond this. But that is when determination comes in. That is when you dig your heels in and you refuse to let go of not what you are doing, but the focus on where you are going. You see, what determination does is it gives you the grace, it gives you the strength, it gives you the ability to withstand your immediate pressure that you're dealing with, the immediate challenge that you are facing, the immediate pain that you are feeling while you are on your way to your destination. So the first one is discipline, the first one is decision, second one is discipline, the third one is determination, and the fourth D is dedication. The fourth D is dedication. Now, what is dedication? Simply put, dedication is when you have given everything, when you have exerted all your energy, your resources, your everything has been spent, and you can see the finishing line right in front of you. You can see the fulfillment of your goal. You can see the accomplishment of your purpose. You can see where you want to be right in front of you. But energy is out. Resources is depleted. Even focus is almost gone. Dedication is refusing to let go. Refusing to cave in, refusing to give up, refusing to throw in the towel and walk away, refusing to allow the seemingly empty tank that you have now to stop you from pushing through. In athletics, they call it pushing past the barrier pain, when you are totally, completely exhausted, and yet there's still about 15 meters in front of you to get to the finishing line. And you know that the guy in the second position is catching up on you. The question is, are you going to give up and fall down and lose the race, or you are going to find something out of nowhere to go through? And that is dedication. So what we're looking at here is the 4 Ds. As far as this, for you to fulfill your desire, is you have to make a decision, you have to have the discipline, you have to commit your dedication, so your determination, and then have a dedication that will see you through over the line. So the first developmental factor that you will need for success is an unquenchable desire to be successful. A not letting go, a refusal to remain the same. And once you have that desire, that burning desire, then you apply the 4 Ds to yourself and see yourself cross the line. The second factor that you need to have, or you must have, in order for you to not just develop, But for you to have success, is you have to be educated. You have to be educated. Now, when I say education, I'm not talking about merely going to school or to university or studying. No, there's more to education than classroom. There is a lot more about education than being within the four walls of a classroom. The society that the world and the life that we live has a way of separating the wheat from the chaff. It has a way of rewarding people highly, some people highly than others. Now, the first question is, do they have two heads? No. Four hands? No. Are they not just breathing oxygen and exhaling that carbon dioxide like you and I? Exactly. So what is it about them that gives them that edge to be paid more, to live better, to have more peace, to be able to do other things that a lot of people can only wish and dream about? And the bottom line, one of the main factors for them to seemingly be above others is education. And I'm not talking about their university degree or all of that. That is part of it. In fact, that's a major part of it. But it goes beyond that. It includes the exposure that you have exposed, the things that you have exposed yourself to, the challenges that you have dig your heels in to face and see through, the knowledge and the experience that you have acquired over time. All those are contributing factors to your education. You see, when you know more, when you know more critical facts, you have more ideas, you have better quality information, you know better how to do something, you can handle a pressure better than others, you can see what others cannot see because of your educational exposure. When you bring all of that together and you are prepared to do what others are not prepared to do, when you are ready to go to where others are too scared to even think about or attempt to go to, when you bring all of that together, what it does is it adds some values to you that is not common to everybody. And that value that is added to you, they allow you to bring more to the table than an average person. They give you an edge over the rest of the crowd. They push you slightly above the competitors. And those are what you have learned, what you have acquired, what you have handled, the experience you have gained, the information you have been able to absorb and digest and bring to bear on whatever situation that you are facing. You are more valuable, for instance, to your organization than the next person sitting on next to you. Yes, you sit in the same office. You may even have the same title, the same job description, but there is something about the quality of what you bring to the table. There's something about how the depth of what you do that others don't do. And all of that are as a result of the educational experience and knowledge and wisdom and information that you have acquired over time. You see, generally in life, the rule is to earn more, you must learn more. You must know more to be able to contribute more. And people, organizations, government, and even life itself will always pay more to that person that brings more to the table. Life will always pay a little bit more to that person that added more value than the rest. So if you want to increase your level in life, if you want to achieve the best in life, if you want to excel in everything, you must educate yourself by increasing your level of intellectual capital. Intellectual capital, not just your education, but everything else around you. And the more you are able to increase your intellectual capital, the more you are able to also increase the value that you bring to everything that you're doing. And the more life, organization, people, and everything will reward you for it. I hope this is helping somebody tonight. The next factor that we need to also have and use in order for us to not just grow but to develop to a point of success is that we must have a good work habit, an excellent work habit. Whether somebody is there or not, whether your boss is watching or not, whether your lecturer is looking at you or not, ultimately, your work habit will show in the result that you produce. It's been said that when you do good work, you don't get any result, you don't get any reward. But when you do excellent work, you get good reward. In order for you to get excellent reward, you have to do outstanding work. So, developing or cultivating good work habit is another factor that will help you in your developmental journey to the point where you excel and you are above all. See, good work habit enables you to get far more done in a shorter period of time. When you have a good work habit, you tend to get more done within a short period of time compared to others who would take every 40 minutes or every hour, every 1.5 hours, they're going out for a cigarette break, or they're going down the corridor to have coffee, or they're looking at the time. As soon as it's 12 o'clock, they shut down the computer, they're going for break. They won't come back until exactly 1 minute to 1 p.m. and all of that. But a good work habit where you sit down, you refuse to let go, and you just pour yourself into what you are doing, ultimately it will show forth in the result that you produce. You see, your ability to increase what is called your return on time invested, the ability to increase the reward or the produce from the time that you invest in anything that you do, will enable you to accomplish far, far more in a shorter period than other people that are either disorganized or sloppy or can't be bothered or just want to do the bare minimum. In order for you to have and develop and use and imbibe this good work habit, you have to do the following. You have to be able to think before you act. You have to be able to analyze what you are about to do and process it in your head and process it in your mind, and almost like seeing the end from the beginning. Walk yourself through from beginning to the end. I remember once I saw a documentary about a golfer, and this guy, it was a movie actually, and they were asking him, what makes you so exceptional, especially when it comes to putting, that wherever your ball is to wherever the hole is, you seem to have a special skill of getting the ball into the hole. What is the secret? And he said something that I can never forget. He said, I don't touch the ball. I don't hit the ball. I don't even go near the ball unless I have seen the ball travel the journey from where it is and analyze the path that the ball would take to get into the hole. So they said, how is that possible? He said, because I played the ball in my head. I played the ball in my vision, in my imagination before I put the club to the ball. So what am I saying? I'm saying in one of the parameters for developing good work habit is think through the process. Play the process out in your head, in your mind, in your imagination. Think before you act. Run it by yourself. Challenge yourself. Query it within you so that when you are at the point of delivery, that's not the time to think. You've already done your thinking, you've done your analysis. All you are doing now is delivery. So a good work habit requires that you must think before you act. Secondly, a good work habit also requires that you make a list, you set priorities, but more than that, you must work those lists. You must work the priority. It is one thing to make a plan. You then have to work the plan. And unfortunately, a lot of people think it's just about making a plan. Yes, it is good to make a plan, but once the plan is made, unless the plan is now worked out, it's a wasted time. The third element that you need to factor in the development of good work habit is you must consider the likely consequences of what you're about to do or what you're about to say or what you're about to react on. You must consider the likely consequences. Is it positive or is it negative? In fact, both of them, you have to consider both the positive and the negative consequences of what you are going to do or what you're about to do. Because what that does is it prepares you for the outcome. One of the challenges that a lot of us face in life generally is that we act, we say things, we react, we respond, we relate without factoring in the fact that what I am about to say, what I'm about to do, what I'm about to put in motion has consequences. And therefore, I need to factor in that consequence so that when the consequence manifests, it's not a shock to me like, oh, where did that come from? No. The law of physics talks about the cause and effect. Once you have put the cause in motion, there's an effect at the other end of it. And so by you considering the consequence, by you putting into reasoning through the consequence that is likely to come out from what you're about to do, it prepares you better for the outcome rather than to get to the outcome and be shocked with what you see. And finally, a good work habit requires that you must review your result and make necessary adjustments. You must review your results, the outcome, and then make necessary adjustment. Just because the outcome is good does not mean it cannot be improved upon. Just because the outcome is bad does not mean it cannot be corrected. But you can only make that decision and take necessary steps to do that if you take time to review it and consider, okay, this is what I did, this is the outcome. What could I have done differently to produce a different outcome? So that is what you do when you review it. And once you have identified what are the things you can do to make it better, then just go ahead and put that into practice. the fourth factor, as far as success out of development, or development that leads to success, the fourth factor that we must have and have in abundance is we must possess positive mental attitude. Positive mental attitude. Naturally, as human beings, we are more prone to see the negative in everything. We are conditioned, we are trained, we are engineered to see and relate and expect and defer to the negative in everything. And then we try to walk our way back to try to reel the negativity back into positivity. But what that does is it saps a lot of energy. But if you start and approach life and everything in life with a positive mental attitude, does that mean you're denying that it could go wrong? No, it doesn't mean you are denying the chances that the negative could be the outcome. In fact, with everything you do, with every action, with every choice you make, you have equal chance of positive and as much as that of negative. But you can improve and increase your chances of positive outcome by approaching life with a strong positive mental attitude. A strong positive mental attitude. You see, positive mental attitude is very much a decision. It is a decision that you make. It's a decision that it's a process of deciding that this is what I'm expecting. If you approach life with no expectations, then don't be surprised when life gives you nothing, or when life gives you what you don't want. But if you approach life and everything in life from a point of view of this is what I want, you determine, you initiate, you set your own expectation. This is what I want in life, and that is an issue of decision. It's an issue of decision. If you engage in the same activities, if you engage in the same activity that is positive, or with a positive, confident, optimistic mindset, you will eventually become a developed and successful person, just in line with the way you think. Like the Bible says, as a man think in his heart, so is he. As a man or a woman thinks, what you focus on will develop. What you expect eventually is what you will get. So approach life with a strong positive mental attitude, and you will see life will walk towards you with what you expect. One thing about positive mental attitude is that anyone can remain positive when things are going well. Oh yes. Everybody can jump up and punch the air and clench their fists and smile and laugh and do everything when everything is going well. But you see, positive mental attitude will kick in when the things are not going your way. When the challenge seems not moving. When the pain seems not reducing. When it's like you can't see your way out of here. When you're at a point where you want to say, do you know what? I've had enough. Whatever. And that is when your positive mental attitude that you have developed will help you through whatever you're dealing with. Positive mental attitude is the ability to look for the good in every situation that you confront. Does that mean the situation is good? No. Does that mean the chances of you going down on this is not there? Oh, it's there. It's very high indeed. But ultimately, you can determine what you get out of it from the mindset with which you approach it. If you approach it from a defeated mindset, from a mindset that says, well, I can't really do this, this is so over my level, I mean, who am I to even think about this? You've already self-defeat yourself. But you see, the fact that you are confronting that situation tells me that you have, number one, what it takes to deal with it, to handle it. And if you don't have, you have resources around you to help you through. But if you allow the situation to overwhelm you, you will not see the way out. Again, the Bible talks about every temptation is common to man. But in the midst of that temptation, in the midst of that trial, in the midst of that challenge, in the midst of that calamity, there is always a door of escape. There is always a way out. There is always a solution hidden in the thickest of the problem. But you see, if you allow the problem or the situation to overwhelm you, even if the way out and the solution is as wide as the Wembley Stadium right in front of you, you won't see it, because you have closed your mind to the possibility that there could be a positive outcome from this situation. The next factor that we need to consider in the course of looking at what are the things that we can do, that we must do, that we should do, not just to grow, but to develop a success mentality and become successful in life. The next one is creativity. We have to be creative. You see, by nature, human beings, we are creative. By nature. If you don't believe me, tell me, for instance, imagine this with me. How does a 2-year-old child knows what to say, what to do to avoid being punished or to get what they want? It is creativity. Nobody has taught that child how to lie or how to twist the parents around their little finger and just. But somehow in human beings we are creative. You know why? Because God our Father is very creative. If you doubt me, just look at the world around you and look at the wonders and the creativity of God. Go and watch one of these documentary program on National Geography Channel or whatever it's called. Go and see what is happening at the bottom of the ocean and see the creativity, the ingenuity, the wonders of God in the species of things, the color, the array of some beauty that you've never seen before. And so within us as human beings, we also carry the same creativity gene in us. But over time, we allow life, circumstances, challenges, situations to beat them out of us. We allow the system in which we find ourselves to stifle us and almost lock down that chamber of creativity that is naturally in us. But you see, creativity is a wonderful way to start moving forward in life and to increase the speed at which you achieve your goals. And I'm convinced of this, one of the greatest gifts that women have is creativity. A woman will take something that is almost nothing and make a meal out of it. And you will not even know that what she started with was almost nothing. A woman will run the house, manage the kitchen, take care of the children, manage the husband, do everything because she's very creative. Now, does that mean men are not creative? No, they are. It's just that women have the ability to tap into that aspect of their being to a deeper and a larger degree than men are. Creativity is something that requires that you continuously look for a better way, a faster way, an easier way, a cheaper way to get the job done. Every human being, we all have resources. Nobody is created or born with nothing. We all have at our disposal. We all have in us and with us resources. But you see, some people, they don't just rely on their resources. They become resourceful. They take what they have and somehow, by being creative, produce what they want. It's the same thing as far as the path, the developmental path to success is concerned. Again, you have to continuously be creative in finding a better way to do something, a faster way to do something, an easier way to do something, a cheaper way to do something, and a more excellent way to deliver. That is creativity. A creative person knows how to make use of what they have, little or none, to produce not just what they want, but what they need. And people who are not creative are mostly wasteful, and in most cases they do not excel in life, because life has a way of seeing what you are doing with the little. Even the Bible talks about, if you are faithful with the little, then God will make you ruler over the much. But you have to prove your faithfulness over the little that you have. And part of proving that faithfulness is to be creative, to be resourceful with what you have, in order for you to get what you want and what you need. The next step that we need to consider as along this journey of what are the developmental tools that we need for success, another vital, and in my opinion, this is perhaps the most important of all of them, is character. Character is, like I said, in my opinion, the most important factor of success and acceleration of life that you can think or imagine. Character. Trust is the foundation of all relationships. Character is the glue that holds life together. Character. Reputation is who people say you are. What people say about you, the way people see you, the way people acknowledge you, the way people relate to you, the way people describe you, the way people what people say about you is your reputation. But the real you is your character. And when you have good character, you are unstoppable. When you have good, genuine character, nothing, absolutely nothing can stop you. Yes, people may come against you. Yes, people may connive and collude and try to bring you down. But when you have when you possess good character, you are like the balloon. You can take it to the bottom of the mighty ocean. As soon as you take your hand off it, it's coming back up. Good character will open doors for you where nothing else will do. See, when people know that you are trustworthy, when people believe in you, when people are convinced that they can trust you, that they can take you at your word, they can rely on you, they can relate to you, they don't need to pretend around you. They know what to expect, what they will get from you. When your character is exemplary, when you are like the Bible said about Apostle Paul, the man with no guile, when you are does that mean you'll be with no fault? No, that's not what I'm saying. We all have faults, but when the epitome of your person is your character, you are unstoppable. I don't care what you have. I don't care what you don't have. I don't care who you are, where you're from. It is immaterial. And one of the ways you know people with good character, people that possess excellent characters, one of the ways you know them is look at their circle, not just of friends, but of people that relate to them. Some of them are years. I mean, for years they've been together. They may not see each other for 10 years, for 5 years. But at every point in time, when they come together, when they interact, when they relate, there is a theme, there is a pillar upon which the whole relationship is built and is resting. And that pillar is excellent character. Excellent character. And you know the funny thing about character? The oil that lubricates and keep character's engine turning and turning without grinding to a halt is self-discipline. Is self-discipline. Who are you when nobody is watching? When there's no glory to gain? When there's no clap? People clapping on the sideline. Who are you? Because whoever you are when the lights are out, when the crowd have disappeared, when the show is over, whoever you can look in the mirror and your heart is not skipping, your conscience is not pricking you, then you are a man and a woman of good character. And like I said, when you have good character, you're unstoppable. People will go out of their way. They will do everything. They will jump over a hill. They will skip over everything to be there for you, to be there with you, to be there at you, to just be there with and for you, because they know you will do the same thing for them. Character. How are we looking? Ooh, nearly there. The last factor that we're going to look at tonight when it comes to what is this developmental path to success that we're looking at tonight, the next factor that you must have and you must consider, you must possess, is vision and clarity. Vision and clarity. You must have a clear vision of where you are going. You must have a clear vision of what you are doing. You must have a clear vision of what is the destination, what is the final product. Where is this going to end? What would, like my older brother would say, what is the equals to? 2 plus 2 equals to what? What is your equals to at the end of the day? That vision must be impeccable before you. Because if you don't know what you want, if you don't know where you're going, anything and everywhere will look like it. Isn't it amazing? The Bible says, without vision, the people perish. Not that they don't have power, not that they don't have resources, not that they don't have connections and contacts, but because they lack vision, the end result is calamity. Vision is where you are going. Vision is what you want to achieve. But clarity, the clarity of that vision is what will beat the pathway to that destination. The clarity of that vision is what will stand you when the challenges come against that vision. When obstacles rise up against that vision, when you start to almost question and doubt that vision, the clarity of it that you have will propel you, will pull you through, will push you through, will whatever it has to do, will get you to where you're going. Vision is what gives clarity the energy to keep going in the face of adversity, in the face of challenges, in the face of opposition, in the face of lack and need and want. Vision will fuel clarity, knowing that, there could be a smoke here. This mountain is right in front of me, but I'm not seeing the mountain. Clarity says, I know where I'm going. So whatever is in my path now is temporary. It's going to move. I'm going to walk around, walk over, or walk through it. I know where I am going. Vision is living in your future by the power of your imagination. I remember listening to Dr. Sunday Adelaja once, and he said that he is already seeing 50, 100 years down the road from where he is. So whatever is happening around him, he's almost inoculated, almost not affected by it because of vision. He can see down the road. He knows. And when you have as clear as glass a vision, temporary challenges will not bother you, because that's what they are. They are temporary. They are just temporary. They are there to question you, to ask you, when you close your eyes, what do you see? When you close your eyes, what do you see? And when you have vision, a good, clear vision, with clarity, and you are pursuing it with your purpose, with your strength rather, it could take a lot longer. It could be more frustrating sometimes. Your energy level could be drained and depleted to zero. But you always have some reservoir of joy, because you know that the outcome, the destination, the totality is priceless. For you, the end justifies the means. You refuse to give up, to cave in, to throw in the towel, to let the challenges of life stop you, because you have a clear vision of where you're going. And that tonight, ladies and gentlemen, are some of the factors, some of the principles, some of the guidelines that we must take on board, that we must carry with us, that must become part of ourselves and become part of what guides the parameters within which we live our lives. So that we're not just growing, we are developing towards becoming successful. Thank you so much for your time, ladies and gentlemen. I really appreciate each and every one of you that has been part of today's program. Thank you for your commitment, your dedication, for being there with me on this journey of discovery. And like we've said from the day one, we're not going to give up. We're not going to cave in. We're not going to pack it in. We're not going to throw it in the towel, because we have a vision. And that vision is very clear. We know where we're going. We have a destination. We have a purpose. There is a place that's already prepared for us. And we will not stop until we reach our promised land. Thank you. If you have not shared this program tonight, just click the share button now. Share it with somebody. Tell somebody. Send it as a message, as a link, or share it on your friend's page so that it could benefit them, just as I believe it has benefited you tonight. Once again, thank you. I appreciate you. And until we meet again next week, this is Tunde Disu once again saying, we have a purpose. We have a goal. There is a destination that is set before us. There is a place with your name and my name on it. And it is a spacious, a wealthy place. And so we're not going to stop along the way. We're not going to let fatigue, challenges, and they say and he say. No, none of that is going to be strong enough to stop us. Because we know that the end is priceless. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you.